this moment because it's absolutely gorgeous up here on the side of Glastonbury Tor with this beautiful view of all the rolling mists. It's like if we were in an aeroplane. It just feels very spiritual to me. And wishing you all a fantastic festive season. Hope you're all enjoying the gorgeous frosty weather. To do another chapter for Common Law Ascent and our patrons, our wonderful patrons and supporters of the Young Britain's History Reader, and we're on chapter 3 and it's a very short chapter going back to the mists of time, the old home of the English. So I'll just crack on and read this chapter, some history for you. The old home of the English. There's a little sea song, an old English sea song to start with. It says, "Then the well-armed heroes stepped onto their ships, while the stream of ocean whirled the sea against the sand. Now sailed forth the men on desired adventure, till at last the seamen saw the land ahead, shining sea cliffs, soaring headlands." Shall I do that again?
No, it's fine.
"There was a time when this England of ours had never been trodden by English feet, and for the fatherland of our race we have to turn to some low-lying districts on the eastern side of the North Sea. Between the Baltic and the North Sea is the peninsula now known as Denmark, the southern part of which bore the name of Angelin." I actually don't know how to say that. Or England. Angelin. Actually says the word angel in it. Angelin. I'm sure you guys can figure that one out for yourselves. This may be looked upon as the cradle of the English race. In the north of the same peninsula dwelt the Jutes, the kinsmen of the Angles, and to the south lay the great tract of country in which the Saxons had made their homes. Angles, Jutes and Saxons belonged to the same race and were branches of the great Teutonic family which inhabited the countries in the northwest of Europe. One in language and in customs, the three tribes were to be at last united in founding the new nation of England in the lands of the British people. The old English were a race of farmers, and each little farm village had a distinct line parting it from another. Here the dividing line was a stream, and there a stretch of fens. In this part a belt of woodlands, and in that a piece of common land, so called because it belonged to all. If anyone from another place crossed the border, he had to let people know of his coming by blowing a horn, otherwise he could be treated as a foe and slain by the first person who met him. Shocking. Around each farm village were a fence and a trench for the purpose of defence against an enemy. This line of defence was known as a tun, and the village within it was the tunship or township. But other names such as wick or stead or ham were also given to these little villages, and we have traces of all of them in the Hartingtons, the Hardwicks and the Hampsteads of our country today. The people were divided into the landowners and the landless, and only those who worked the land had the right to call themselves freemen. The work of the landless men was to till the ground, but we must remember that he was never looked upon as a slave, although the landowners placed him in a rank far below their own. Getting distracted by the beautiful views here. You can see the beautiful St. John's Church in the background in the mist. It's just incredible. Such a visit. It's so worth a visit coming to Glastonbury. The possessions of the freemen clustered around a hill or a tree where the landowners met at stated times to judge the wrongdoer. Oh, we're talking about law now, that's good. Bush, what are you doing? Come and sit, Bubby. She's not going to sit right now because I'm reading.
Way too cold.
Right, okay, so They'd come to a hill or a tree where the landowners met at stated times to judge the wrongdoer, to draw up the laws of the village, or to settle disputes between the landowners. Among the free men would be one who by birth or by some noble deed had earned a rank above his fellows, and he, the Earl, would preside over the curls. Is that the right word? Serls.
Serfs?
Serls. Sounds like serfs, doesn't it? As the rest of the landowners were called. The word Earl is still to be found in our words Earl and Alderman. These moots or meetings may be looked upon as the beginning of English Parliament. Of the English Parliament. The members, is it too windy? I'm feeling the wind.
I'm feeling the cold. Try not to let my fingers shake.
Is your mic that way?
I think so. I'm just going to come over here.
The members of a village were all linked with one another as kinsmen by what was known as the blood bond. All the people who were bound to help any one of their number who were bound to help anyone. It's a drone.
Bloody noisy, isn't it?
So they were all bound to help anyone else that was in danger and to suffer with him in the hour of trial. Thus it was for the general good that the evildoer should be kept in check. The religion of our English forefathers was heathen. Christianity, which had become the faith of the nations of the Middle and Southern Europe, had not yet become known to the dwellers in the forests and the fens of the north, and there the gods, after some of whom the days of the week are named, were worshipped. Sunday and Monday speak to us of the years when the sun years it says years, but I think those are days when the sun and the moon were looked at. Oh, okay, yeah. Sunday and Monday speak to us of the years when the sun and moon were looked upon as sacred by our forefathers. Wednesday is the day of Woden, the war god, whom every tribe held to be the first of its line of kings. Thursday is the day of thunder, or as the Northmen called him, Thor, the god of air and storm and rain. And Friday is the day of Frigga, the goddess of peace and joy. Yeah, Wednesday, Woden, they thought was the first. Woden was the first of their line of kings. I do find that interesting.
Woe is normally a Monday, isn't it?
What Woden? Whoa, yeah. I hear some people say Monday's a Nunday. Such were some of the customs and beliefs of the simple yet grand folk who were to be the makers of England. They understood the glory and freedom of the earth and sky and sea. Was that actually pointing at me?
Yeah. I can't even feel my fingers anymore.
And the freedom of the earth and the sky and the sea, and we cannot wonder that the time came when our forefathers, so brave and free and so full of life, found their country too small for them and longed to sail across the seas to find a home richer and wider than their own. I think that's saying that they came to England. That's it. So thanks for tuning in. We'll crack on with this another time. There's 60 odd chapters in here, and thank you for tuning in.